Welcome, everyone, to this Global Shift Meditation. This is David Nicol, the Gaia Field Project. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a monthly series where we'll be featuring different teachers from different traditions who will be engaging us in dialogue and also spiritual practice focused on supporting shifts in our world. I had the privilege of speaking with Sister Jenna of the Brahma Kumaris tradition. We recorded our conversation a little while ago, and she is a dear friend of the Shift Network and the Gaia Field Project. I'll introduce her formally on the recording. I'm here in person, and we'll play the recording, which includes the meditation, and then at the end I'll be here on the line for those of you who feel moved to share a prayer or blessing or even a question or just a comment that arises from the practice. It can be a healthy process for us to share at the end of these experiences to build a field of collective wisdom together to keep the energy moving. So we'll welcome those comments at the end of the meditation. For now, we'll play the recording and enjoy the conversation and the meditation, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, welcome everyone to this Global Shift Meditation series. This is David Nicol from the Gaia Field Project, and we're continuing our series today and our theme of elevating the consciousness in the United States of America. I'm delighted today to be joined by a dear friend of mine, Sister Jenna. Sister Jenna is a spiritual leader, a very accomplished speaker, and founder of the Meditation Museum in metropolitan Washington, D.C., and the host of the popular and globally broadcast America Meditating radio show. She was selected as one of 100 most influential leaders of 2015 by Empowering a Billion Women 2020, and she served as a principal partner with the Oprah Winfrey Network and values partnerships on the Oprah Winfrey Belief Team, a community of individuals from diverse spiritual, cultural, and faith backgrounds. Despite the many life challenges that we face on a global scale, Sister Jenna really does have an uncanny ability to connect us back to where our problems originated from and shift our awareness towards the solutions. Her voice of influence is especially needed in the wake of tragedy and increasing violence in our world today. Today, Sister Jenna joins us to discuss the state of the nation and a new initiative called MeditateTheVote, which seeks to make us mindful of how our choices impact our lives and the world, and intends to uplift the collective awareness and soul of the nation. So, Sister Jenna, it's a delight to have you. Welcome, my friend.
Always nice to be with you, David, and thank you so much for engaging in this kind of a quality conversation. I think especially at this time, it's needed the most, absolutely the most.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Jenna. So let's start there then with, when we look out at the U.S. situation today, especially in the political realm, there's undoubtedly, it's an extremely turbulent, unpredictable environment out there this year, more than ever, it seems. And I would just love to start, Sister Jenna, with your perspective on what you see as the state of the nation and what's really happening out there, and how can we best be of service at this time to move things in a positive direction.
I'm not quite sure my response will be very well taken, but I think it's all happening according to drama. Like a friend of mine always says, David, it's just it's in divine order. It's all supposed to be happening. However, prior to that, for many of us who perhaps have been just looking at the level of America and where it's been moving, I go back to the 40s when it was the most powerful nation in the world. And if we were to fast forward to 2001 or so, I don't know if you can recall how complacent the nation was at that time. And people were now calling, we kept hearing words like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. And then September 11 really woke us up. Like, what's that? What happened? And there were so many conspiracy theories that were emerging that made us really start to question, would leaders actually sacrifice their own people to stay in power or to accumulate their own gains? And so I think, all of these vibrations are growing and they're amplifying in the atmosphere of the land. And 2008, business as usual, but people are getting pretty tired of that, or we're very tired of that. Politics is interesting, and it's turning out that things are not going in a direction where I would say it's revealing our royalty and dignity as a people. We're moving even lower than mediocrity now more than ever. Wouldn't you say so? Because it's been a very interesting time. And so America, because I've traveled to over 90 countries, David, and every time I go to different lands and I sit with people and we're having conversations, because I love having meaningful conversations, the quality and the legacy and the sparkle of America has stepped down. I mean, we are no longer what used to be the hope of the future world, the father of nations. We've changed. So when I look at America now, there's a lot of divisiveness. There's a lot of mean-spiritedness in politics, but it's like good. I think it's just showing us where we are. I was at the airport the other day coming in from a trip, and I don't know if you know Diana Collins, and if you don't, she's a wonderful read, and she's a great author with quantum thinking. And Diana Collins and I were having a conversation on, and you're going to chuckle when you hear this one. When she and her husband heard about MeditateTheVote, her husband asked her, Diane, what is Sister Jenna up to now with MeditateTheVote? And she said, well, we've got a candidate who nobody trusts. We've got one who's idealistic and has no idea how he's going to make them happen. And we've got one who's a madman. Meditate on that, Alan. And I just thought it was so funny.
Right. Yeah.
Because, we're just in a place, David, where I don't know if we know where to go. I think it's so complex that if we don't take a spiritual journey, external methods and processes and ways and systems to try to cure broken spirits, we will be doing this for hundreds of thousands of years if we choose the external route.
Yeah, it certainly seems like the situation is a challenge to our sense of trust. It's almost like it's compelling us to call on a deeper level of trust, because on the surface, it doesn't look like there are good options. It's almost like we have to call in something deeper, something higher, and trust that out of this chaos, that an evolutionary path can emerge. Sister Jenna, just before the call, you were talking about how the situation seems to be sort of flushing to the surface some of these darker sides or more regressed sides that we perhaps didn't know, couldn't see so clearly before, and they seem to be coming to the surface now. I'm just wondering if you could share any thoughts about that and the significance of that, perhaps.
I think it's like our own lives, David. We could be moving along well in one particular area or in 10 particular areas, but there's an aspect within our own being that we're missing, and that area tends to keep resurfacing, and it comes in the form of an obstacle, a conflict, fear, ego, attachment, and until we actually address it, it will keep somehow being fed, consciously or unconsciously. So here we're looking at some of these presidential candidates. I am so amazed by the interesting visuals that I see when I look at all the candidates. And I'm not going to say anything negative about anyone. It's really just a matter of each person is playing out a part that's helping everyone to see where we are. You've got the millennials who are all supporting Bernie Sanders, and what they're voicing out is we need change. We don't want politics as usual. The systems aren't working. There are no jobs for us when we come out of college. We are paying so much money and there's no opportunity. And they're looking for changes, and they're looking for something beautiful to emerge with the tools and the resources that are still here. Then you have somebody who's speaking for the voice of who now feel that they're now becoming the extinct, that they no longer have a voice, they don't exist. And in whatever way the languaging is of that person, that soul is representing that many of us don't see ourselves, and in not seeing ourselves, we're not able to even show up in the world that we must. We're waiting for a handout. We're waiting to be served. We're waiting for some miracle to happen. But still, we are the ones that have to do the work. We are the ones, as the Hopi Indians always remind us, we are the ones that we're waiting for. And what in particular intrigues me, and it's something within myself, David, that about 10 years ago I started to change in my spiritual dimension, is that sometimes in our journey we get to a point of knowing a system. You've figured it out. You know what someone's going to do, you know what someone's going to say, you know what the result of something's going to be. You're waiting for the result of something to unfold in the way that you think it can or it should. That you reach a point that you could close your conscience away and play games because you know laws and rules and everything. And you lose sight of your own humanness, your heart, your empathy, your sensitivity to the greater need. So I feel that we're living through our own mirrors of ourselves. A part of us wants to be innovative and wants to break old paradigms. A part of us within our own being has figured this out, the game. And a part of us is trying to be seen, that we're no longer extinct, but we're challenged. Do we have what it takes to really bring forth the strength that's required to raise ourselves and to raise anything else around us? Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, and Sister Jenna, it feels like no matter what our political perspective is or our view on America's role in the world, it seems obvious that we can agree that it's helpful for us to do what we can to raise the vibration across the country so that we can help to bring forth the highest outcome, help us to respond to this challenge from our highest place rather than devolving to our place of reactions of fear and so on. And I'd love to hear from you more about this campaign, Meditate the Vote, as an initiative that is intended to do just that. Yeah, tell us where the inspiration came from and how people can get involved in this campaign.
Are you ready to chuckle again? Here I am, 5,000 feet above sea level in the Ara Valley Mountains of Mount Abu, India. 10 to 15,000 yogis are there. I'm there for my annual retreats for the Brahma Kumaris, and over 110 countries are present. And the first question I'm asked that evening on my day of arrival, Sister Jenna, do you think Donald Trump's going to become the next United States president? And I'm in an ashram. I'm in a spiritual place with 110 countries, with thousands of my friends from around the world that I know personally, David. And their first question was, do you think he's going to become the next president? So that inspired me to write an article called Far Away from American Politics for HuffPost. And then after that, I kept thinking, there's no way I can sit back and not do something for this presidential campaign that's going on. And in meditation, I'm sitting, and we're thinking and just allowing space to come in. And it was at that point I got an email that May is National Meditation Month. I don't know how many of you knew that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Me neither. So the month of May has been declared National Meditation Month in America. So I started to think about, well, we should vote meditation. If we really want to vote, let's vote meditation. But after speaking to a lot of people from the secular side and folks from the spiritual side, we came to a common consensus. Why don't we just meditate the vote, which was a more active role in us making choices. And that's how it came about, David, from the mountaintops of India, being asked that one question. It percolated that awareness. I got an email that May was Meditation Month, and then we had a series of meetings with a bunch of friends, and I'm glad the Gaia Field Project is one of our friends on board in support. The Shift Network, many authors, many transformational leaders that have now come on board to say, we need to do something. We need to raise the level of conversation here. And that's how it started.
Right. And so Meditate the Vote is going to be launched, I believe, on May 1st, correct?
Right. And it will go on until November the 8th on voting day. And what we want to do, David, is to keep having real conversations around some key questions that a few of us designed and decided was really important. Questions like, is there a way for us to engage in conversation without creating separation or division? Do you believe in your self-worth? And if so, how does your life model that belief? What do you value most about America? And are you powerful enough to affect change? And we're inviting folks to #MeditateVote and like us on Facebook and tweet, and the address is just MeditateTheVote. And share with us your aha moment, your realizations. Host an event. Have these conversations at your home, at venues, at the coffee shop, when you're watching a basketball game. It's that simple. We're saying, bring this energy into your space, and let's see how that vibrates subtly in the atmosphere around this nation and around the world.
Yeah, I love it. So encouraging all of these conscious conversations to filter out into the collective as a way to support that, raising that vibration to that sort of perspective of unity consciousness. That's beautiful.
Which is what I love that you do, because at the Gaia Field Project, you've been doing this for years, and I've been telling my friends and associates, I think other friends that I even met on OWN that I introduced to you, that you must trust in these subtle, well-intended efforts that folks like you are doing, that it is impacting the shift that we will be seeing at some point pretty soon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think the power of these sorts of initiatives like Meditate the Vote, when they're coming from that place of purity, there's something about, even if they start out small in size, the power of their alignment with Source and with the truth gives them that amplified ripple effect into the collective. That's how I truly believe that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that my great-great-grandfather taught me of the Brahma Kumaris, and he said, just one person can create the massive shift. And you are one of them, and you are one of them. So, and I know that social media is important, and we're so poor at it, but we're not poor in our relationships. And I see what it does. I see the importance of impacting a message through social media. My only concern is that the message comes as quick as you receive it on your social media, and you don't feel it at the deep level of transformation. So I would prefer having these one-on-one conversations with you and sharing that in community as we, expand, because I know that you're doing your great work with meditation for this season and also amplifying the quality of the nation.
Yeah, so Sister Jenna, if people want to get involved in Meditate the Vote, what would be the best place for them to go to find out about it?
The best place for them to go, and thank you for asking, they can go to our Meditate the Vote Facebook and Twitter. There they will hear some updates and find out what people are sharing and how things are unfolding. On the America Meditating YouTube, there's a slew of videos that are coming in from individuals that are either contributing their I Meditate the Vote video and explaining to us why. And that'll be a big part of the engaging aspect of this campaign, David. We want people to send us videos that explain why they're meditating the vote, like, I'm Sister Jenna and I meditate the vote because I love harmony. So we want to hear that, and we want it to keep percolating through the ethers and social media, that somebody in Utah who might be 80 years old, who just got an iPad for the first time and opens it up and sees a little thing like that, and they're tickled by it because it's still about what are you contributing to yourself? You will contribute that to your nation.
Right, right. Yeah, beautiful. So, I'm reminded of Thich Nhat Hanh's story too, where he spoke about when people were on refugee boats leaving Vietnam, that the presence of just one person who was calm on the boat when the others were perhaps in panic, that presence of that one person could calm the whole boat. And I'd like to invite people who are listening to us to be open to that possibility, that we're creating through these sorts of initiatives the possibility of just a critical number of us who are holding that calm for the whole boat of our nation, to see us through this turbulent time. And so in that spirit, Sister Jenna, this would be a good time to move into a meditation. We are doing this series of monthly meditations with the purpose of supporting not just the people who are listening, but with that intention of rippling out these vibrations into the collective. And we'd love for you to lead us in a practice today for that intention.
Thank you for that. And I guess my intention as well is to have the awareness that many of the individuals that are listening to this conversation themselves have a regular practice. And so I know it's natural and normal for us to basically start from where we are. So just take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. And allow our thoughts to simply settle down and become much slower than normal. And the awareness that everything that happens to me is happening for me. It is my recording on my internal world that's making me perceive the way my life is unfolding, even the way the country is unfolding. So for a little while, let us reduce our attachment to our identities, reducing the attachment to the identity of our names, reducing the attachment to the gender that I'm accustomed to, letting go of my religious beliefs, nationality, and even reducing my attachment to my choice of who I believe is best for the job of leading the country. Even that. Let go of the attachment to being a Democrat or Republican. Let it go. And let go of the attachment to the body. If I have no name, gender, religious belief, a choice of a party that I believe in, a body, a nationality, I have no attachment to those. How would I feel as an energy? How would I think? Who and what would think of me if will be God, the supreme energy of love and peace and wisdom. So in holding silence, we allow the vibrations of those qualities to become our own. Now very slowly, with the awareness of bringing back these temporary identities, I now carry an amplified version of virtues and qualities from the Supreme. So now when I make choices, it comes from a higher purpose, a higher place of thinking and being. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Feel like we could just take another minute to be in the afterglow of that beautiful depth and silence. And I feel moved just to invite our listeners to imagine this silence rippling out from our field into the collective, to the field of the United States. Transforming whatever it touches into itself, into this silence, this depth. So thank you so much, Sister Jenna, for this richness and this beauty that you've brought to us today. It's always a joy to connect with you. Yeah, and so very best wishes for the Meditate the Vote campaign. And once again, for our listeners, if you want to connect with that, you can find Meditate the Vote on the Facebook page and on Twitter and on YouTube as ways to connect. So Om Shanti, Sister Jenna, thank you so much for today, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, David. Take care, everyone.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is open a space here for anyone who would like to share. Could be something that arose from the meditation, prayer, blessing, just something that was touched in you, or just a question or comment. If you have a question or comment or something to share, please press 1 on your phone, and we can have this time of just harvesting insights from this conversation and this meditation.
We have a hand up from somebody on General Pin calling from area code 240.
Yes, this is Marcia. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Marcia.
Hi, David. I'm from your class on Tuesday evenings.
Right.
I'm just thanking you both and thanking Sister Hannah for this. It was just really tremendous for me. I think if anything, what I got is just some validation of feelings I've been having, in terms of the election season, because typically I'm much more involved. I have a choice made. I know where I'm headed, that sort of thing. This time, while I voted, my heart wasn't in it. And I think it's because I've been feeling the sense of the need to close the divisiveness and just be more of a one body kind of thing, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's just been feeling like we're just too split. And I don't know if I'm making any sense. This just helped me to feel like my thoughts kind of came together better, and I feel like there's a real purpose here, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing, Marsha, and I understand what you're saying, and it's good that you could feel some of that unity through this call.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so let's see if there's a last call for comments or sharing before we bring this call to a close today.
We have Laura on the webcast who says, I am so happy to be part of this. I feel supported and hopeful, and I trust this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
And Nancy says, thank you for this wonderful meditation. And Jenny says, being your northern neighbor, I am tuning in to Meditate the Vote and trying to support it in every way possible. This is great work. Thank you. Anne says, thank you for the opportunity to join you and Sister Jenna. During the opening, Sister Jenna said that everything going on in the U.S. is in divine order. This has been my sentiment exactly. It is a shift from the old world to the new world. I am excited about meditating the vote because it will increase that vibration.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Again, this series will continue on the first of each month, the Global Shift Meditation Series, where we'll be featuring different teachers and mystics from different traditions, guiding us in conversation and spiritual practice to support a collective shift on the planet. Hope you'll join us for next month. Let's just seal this call with 20 seconds of silent gratitude to each other, to Sister Jenna, and to the whole field today for being able to come together in this way and to offer this peace to our nation and to our world. There's 20 seconds of silent thanks. Okay.